Your 8-minute question and answer period will now begin. Do you have plans to scale your projects? Why and how?
So for the project SAS Masks began with the direct need of providing masks for the community and supporting the charities that were in desperate need of funding. The business was set to be open as long as it was needed, and that's exactly what it did. So after the pandemic is over, we don't have plans to scale or continue on. And
how did you? Oh.
Okay, and then I can go. All right, perfect. Hi. As a part of our product roadmap for FIFO, we are currently in the stages of our scaling process. Initially with a business-to-business model that we've developed, where we're going directly to advisors and financial institutions. We're also looking at the opportunity to implement a direct-to-consumer model with the help from a little bit of venture capital. We will be able to potentially look at a direct-to-consumer model that will directly impact the 18 to 25 demographic, as we'll be looking to channel through things like social media and different digital channels to get FIFO out to people.
How did you manage to meet and plan for your projects as a team despite the COVID-19 restrictions?
That is a great question. So as for SAS Masks, we actually formed due to the pandemic as a direct response to that. We had the 4 project managers working on this project, and we all kind of did that contactless pickup and drop off. We called on the phone. As for recruiting our 36 seamstresses that we brought onto the team, those again were also all contactless doorstep pickup and drop off, as well as we had kind of FaceTime chats or Zoom calls where we would train them or onboard them in our own way. A lot of phone calls, texts, and emails were also had as well. As for our impact numbers, we were able to leverage social media to get out our educational videos on how to wear masks, how to upkeep them, how to clean them. And that's where we were able to really get the word out and educate those people.
In regards to how the pandemic affected FIFO, we do have the luxury of being a tech company that we are able to be removed from each other to be working. It has its hardships, as I personally am not, the greatest person to do the digital lifestyle, but you know what, based on the situation, that's what we had to do, and we adapted to the times.
Looking at the triple bottom line, people, planet, and prosperity, is there one of those where the team could have done better?
For speaking for SAS Masks, our 2 kind of focal points were the people and the product. So I like to think of somewhat the triple bottom line as social, economic, and environmental. Our 2 were social and economic. So we were fixing or kind of supporting the mask wearing, as well as supporting charities that needed funding. The environmental actually came as like a third extra when a hotel contacted us and offered 1,000 1,000 pounds of cotton fabric, and we ended up using that as the earpieces on the masks. So it did not affect the quality at all, that we were using reusable fabric, and we were able to kind of reuse some fabric that would have went to the landfill otherwise. So that was started out as our 2 focal points, but we ended up getting a third as well for SAS Masks.
In regards to the triple bottom line for FIFO, as we are still an earlier stage company, we have instilled the concept of the triple bottom line, and especially in regards to how it affects people and how it affects the economic standpoint around it. And what we're planning to do in regards to dealing with the triple bottom line is as we build up the company and as we're able to get more of our product out into the market, we want to be able to offer the product free of charge to things like academic systems, like schools or First Nations reserves, whoever might be able to utilize the technology, but just don't have the means to access that. We want to make this financial literacy accessible for all, and that's the key thing.
What do you expect your project to look like a year from now?
As for SaaS Masks, again, because we were brought on or developed this project due to the pandemic directly, I'm hoping that it is not a project anymore.
In regards to 1 year from today for FIFO, I do hope that it is a little bit sustainable in our development. I hope that we're able to continue on with our growth trajectory, build up the team, build up customer base, and then eventually get to that goal of providing that financial literacy for free to people. That's what I'm hoping for in the next year. But you know what? It's a journey and anything can happen.
Explain what tools your team uses to measure impact.
So as for SaaS Masks, some of our impact was the amount of masks that we were able to distribute during the pandemic, as well as the amount of money that we were able to donate to charities. So we supported we donated over $51,500 to charities in need, such as the Regina Food Bank, Carmichael Outreach, YWCA, etc. Another impact number is that we created 36 jobs. So many of these people were actually unemployed or experienced job loss due to the pandemic, and they were looking for extra work. So we were able to scoop them up as seamstresses. In some cases, train them how to sew. In some cases, just provide them with the tools that they needed and create that supply chain. Yeah, that is probably all the metrics for SaaS Masks.
As for metrics for FIFO, this was a year that we transitioned to the tech company. And based on that, we didn't have as impactful of a number that we used to have when we were working directly with the school systems. Completely understandable, but what we've tried to do is we've tried to build in a recording system into our application that can directly record the impacts from the indirect and the direct impacts that might be occurred within the application, whether that be the direct content that they're integrating with and learning from, or whether that be from something that is kind of given to them in regards to a financial institution providing information to them, whatever that might be.
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Enactus University of Regina.
Thank you.